live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and a warm welcome to the 9 p.m. news of the most prestigious channel in Sri Lanka. Bringing you stories from across the globe and stories here at home. I am Sonal Paranavithana.
A very good evening to you indeed. I'm Sharifah Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
Budget to be presented on the 7th of November. The appropriation bill also to be presented in Parliament on the 26th of this month. A pension for the fishing community within this year. The government of China to provide the entire requirement of school uniforms for 2026 as a grant. The Netherlands offers an additional grant for the Rural Bridges project. The latest game to collect discarded plastic bottles. A jail term of 27 years to the former President Bolsonaro of Brazil. On your main local story for tonight, Deputy Minister Ratna Gamage said in Parliament today that the government will take steps to introduce a pension for the fishermen within this year.
He made this observation answering a query raised by a parliamentarian whether the Fisheries Corporation will be sold out to the private sector or not. Leader of the opposition, Sajid Premadasa, asked whether the news report regarding the closure of Fisheries Corporation is true or false. Deputy Minister Ratna Gamage replied that the Fisheries Corporation has taken over with a huge debt of 1,600 million rupees, but it is being cleared gradually by the government. The Fisheries Corporation has purchased stocks of fish worth 700 million rupees and failed to pay the fishermen. The Employees Provident Fund and the Employees Trust Fund contributions were also not paid to the employees, which is now being paid. In July 2025, the corporation earned a profit of 3 million rupees, while by 31st of August 2025, another 10 million rupees profit was accrued by the Fisheries Corporation. The Secretary of the Ministry of Finance was requested to assist the corporation for a period of 2 years, and it will be converted into a profit-making entity by the year 2028. A pension scheme will be established parallel to the International Fisheries Day on the 21st of November for the benefit of the entire fishing community. Parliamentarian Mujibur Rahman said that the car parked at the Marigawata flats has been handed over to the private store, which is illegal.
පෞද්ගලික අවශ්‍යතාවයන් දීලා තිබෙනවා. දැන් මම නම් කරලා කිව්වොත් එහෙම උදාහරණයක් හැටියට ද මාලිගාවත් මහල් නිවාසයේ තිබෙන නිවාස වැසියන්ගේ පරිභෝජනයේට තිබෙන රතගා ඒ රතගාල දැන් අවුරුදු දෙකකට විතර කලින් ලබා දීලා තිබෙනවා පෞද්ගලික කෙනෙක්ට එතන ඔහුගේ ගබඩාවක් පවත්වාගෙන යන්න. එහෙම පෞද්ගලික පරිභෝජනය සඳහා ලබා දෙන්න බෑ. නීත්‍යානුකූලත් නැහැ. ඒක නීති විරෝධී.
ඇත්තට මේවා මේ නිවාස
Deputy Minister T.V. Sarath pointed out that these irregularities were not committed by the Housing Development Authority or the concerned officials, but were committed with the direct interference of former parliamentarians. Necessary legal steps are being taken within the purview of a special committee. The concerned investigations and other activities will be completed soon, and it will be handed over to the people. Deputy Minister R.M. Jayawardena said that a decision has been taken under the present government to unify the economic centres and bring them under a proper management. It will be controlled as a property owned by the government, he added.
Budget speech or the second reading of the Appropriation Bill 2026 will be conducted in the Parliament on the 7th of November as per a decision taken by the Working Committee. The first reading of the budget will be held on the 26th of this month. This decision has been taken by the Working Committee of Parliament, which met under the leadership of Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne. The budget speech will be presented on the 7th of November by President Anura Kumara Dissanayake as the Minister of Finance. It has also been decided to conduct the debate of the second reading from 8th to 14th November for 6 days. Accordingly, the voting on the second reading will be held on the 14th of November at 6 p.m. Later, from 15th November to 5th December, the debate at Working Committee level will be held for 17 days. It has also been agreed the voting for the third reading of the budget to be held on the 5th of December at 6 p.m. In more local stories, President Anura Kumara Dissanayake stressed the importance of close coordination and joint action between the central government and provincial institutions in the implementation of development projects.
The President emphasized that the culture of using provincial institutions merely as instruments for political authority to retain power has been brought to an end under the present government, while also highlighting the need for the central government and provincial institutions to work in unison towards a national plan for the country's development. The President made these remarks during a meeting held yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat to review issues that have arisen between the central government and the provincial institutions in the course of implementing development projects, to assess projects being carried out under the 2025 provincial budget allocations, and to hold preliminary discussions regarding the budget for 2026. Special focus was placed on challenges encountered in implementing projects in sectors such as education, health, and highways, with discussions also covering possible solutions and proposals. The President instructed provincial governors and chief secretaries that ongoing projects funded through foreign loans and aid should not be carried out through special project offices that require large administrative expenditures. Instead, they should be implemented within the existing administrative structure, completed within the stipulated timeframes, and the benefits delivered directly to the people. Attention was also drawn to plans for improving the school system. Officials were directed to visit schools at zonal level, conduct close studies, and present the most suitable solutions to ensure quality education for all children.
A pre-budget discussion for 2026 with stakeholders of the apparel sector was held yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat under the patronage of President Anurukumara Dissanayake. The President emphasized that the government's objective is to achieve future economic growth targets based on current stability within the country. The President further stressed that the government will remain fully committed to investing in the development of essential infrastructure required by industries and investors. The President noted that by providing the necessary facilities for existing industries, it would be possible to reach the initial growth targets, and further emphasized that it is the government's policy to ensure every rupee is directed towards the most productive investments. Representatives from the Joint Apparel Association Forum, the Free Trade Zone Manufacturers Association, as well as small and medium-scale entrepreneurs in the apparel sector presented their budget proposals relevant to their respective areas. Industry representatives expressed their appreciation to the President for the government's intervention that led to the reduction of tariff rates imposed on Sri Lanka by the United States under the reciprocal tariff system. They also extended their gratitude to the President and requested further investigation and intervention to secure additional concessions in the future.
A preliminary discussion of the 2026 budget proposals between President Anurukumara Dissanayake and stakeholders of the construction industry was held today at the Presidential Secretariat. The discussion was held with the objective of enhancing the contribution to the economy through the export of construction services and related products such as electrical cables. It also focused on the challenges, proposals and solutions in developing this industry as a key export sector. The discussion also focused on the challenges currently facing the construction industry and the possible ways in which the government could intervene to address them. Industry leaders briefed the President on the key issues presently confronting the sector.
The government of China has agreed to provide the entire amount of school uniforms for 2026 as a grant. The official ceremony for the concerned exchange of agreement certificates was held at the Ministry of Education yesterday. The Chinese government has agreed to provide the entire amount of school uniforms for the next year for 4,418,404 students of government and government-assisted schools. The Deputy Minister of Education and Higher Education, Dr. Madhura Seniviratne, and the Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Ji Shang-hong, were present at the ceremony. The Deputy Minister pointed out on this occasion that each student, from the youngest to the senior students who are preparing for the national exams, will get the opportunity to receive education with dignity and equality.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya has taken steps to solve several problems pertaining to university non-academic staff. This action was taken following a discussion held with the representatives of non-academic staff trade unions at Prime Minister's office in the Parliament premises today. They lengthily discussed the issues of a decrease of salary of non-academic staff as a percentage, allowances including MCA and the system of counting over time. They pointed out that although these matters were discussed earlier with the political authority and the representatives of the Management Services Department, their demands were not met. They stressed that the problem of decrease of salary percentage of non-academic staff in concurrence with the recent salary hike should be solved immediately. Concerns were also raised on the inaction to recruit new employees to ease the shortage of non-academic staff. At this discussion, the Premier agreed to find lasting solutions for these problems following talks with the relevant Vice-Chancellors and a thorough study. Ministers, parliamentarians and some public officials were present at this occasion.
We move on to development news now. The Netherlands has provided an additional grant of €730,000 for rural bridge projects in Sri Lanka. This includes projects of 162 rural bridges with the objective of improving urban and rural connectivity and the transportation of the rural public. The concerned projects have achieved a progress of 96% by the month, and the construction work of all the bridges is expected to be completed by February 2026. A discussion in this regard was held recently between Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Dr. Harshana Surya Peruma, and the Acting Ambassador of the Netherlands, Ivan Rudijins. The laying of new drinking water pipelines covering the Grama Niladhari divisions of Valihena and Haupe of Matara, Athuraliya Divisional Secretariat Division, has commenced. An amount of 26.7 million rupees will be spent for this project. Around 1,000 families who are at present facing an acute shortage of drinking water in the area will be benefited by this project, Chairman of Athuraliya Pradeshik Sabha Nuwan Ratnayaka. A number of rural roads in the Homagam electoral division will be carpeted and developed. The first stage of the development work of Valipillava and Lenagalavatta road commenced yesterday. This included a stretch of 250 meters. An amount of 3.7 million rupees has been earmarked for this. The Vice Chairman of the Homagam Pradeshik Sabha and a group of others were present at this occasion. A new housing project for the Telugu community will be implemented adjacent to the Telugu community village at Mihintale, Ulpatweva in Anuradhapura. 20 housing units will be constructed under this project, and houses belonging to another 32 families will also be repaired parallel to this project. An amount of 80 million rupees will be spent for the entire project. The foundation laying ceremony for the project was conducted with the participation of the Governor of the North Central Province, Vasantha Jinadasa. The road from the Kudawala Junction to Yoda Ala Bridge at Shravasipura, Henapolayagama in Anuradhapura will also be carpeted and developed.
We now move on to some court news items. Venerable Athuraliya Ratana Thera, who has been imprisoned, was released on bail today as per a court order issued by the Additional Magistrate in Nugekoda, Justice Sanjay Veerasinghe. Venerable Thera has been released on a bail of 10,000 rupees and two personal bails of 500,000 rupees each, and foreign travel of the Thera has also been banned. An indictment has been filed at the Colombo High Court against Ramita Rambukwella, son of former Minister Kehelia Rambukwella, under the Anti-Corruption Act. The Commission of investigate allegations of bribery or corruption has filed a case regarding his failure to reveal as to how he earned assets to the tune of more than 270 million rupees. Former State Minister Shashindra Rajapaksa, who was in prison custody, has been further imprisoned until the 19th of this month by an order issued by the Colombo Magistrates Court. The Colombo Chief Magistrate, Justice Asanka S. Bodaragama, stated that the order regarding his request for bail presented on his behalf will also be announced on the same day. The writ petition filed by former Minister Udayagam Mampila requesting the quashing of the order issued to take him into custody was taken up for hearing before the Appeal Court today in the presence of the Chairman of the Appeal Court, Justices Rohant Abe Surya and Priyantha Fernando. Deputy Solicitor General Sudarshan Reddy Silva, appearing on behalf of the Criminal Investigation Department, stated that a final decision will be taken in this regard after the completion of concerned investigations.
In more local stories, the closing ceremony of the Pacific Angel 2025 exercise held in Sri Lanka, marking a new milestone in regional security cooperation, was held today. The event was held at the Katunayaka Air Force Base under the patronage of the US Ambassador Julie Chung. Secretary to the Ministry of Defence Sampath Tuyakonta and a group of others also participated in the event.
Just last weekend, the Sri Lankan Air Force deployed 2 helicopters to aid in the rescue of victims from a tragic bus crash in the Ella Welawaya Road. And this is a powerful reminder that disasters and emergencies can happen anywhere, anytime. And I want to commend the SLAF for the swift response and life-saving assistance. That same spirit of readiness and service is what brings us here together today. From ports to people, Indo-Pacific ties connect our futures. Pac Angel is not only about military readiness, but also about people-to-people bonds. Now, all of you here from the many countries, maybe from different nationalities and speak different languages, but you all trained together. The U.S. Air Force Band performed shoulder to shoulder with the Sri Lankan Air Force Band, showing how music bridges cultures. Our engineers worked together on projects that improve communities, demonstrating that practical cooperation strengthens the foundations of our partnerships. What we build together today is the foundation for tomorrow's shared security. And this year's Pac Angel strengthened readiness through C-130 operations, search and rescue training, 8 subject matter exchanges, from jungle survival to maritime surveillance to medical response, cargo handling, and mass casualty management. Each of these exchanges built the skills and resilience needed for faster, stronger responses to future crises. So thank you to the U.S. Pacific Air Forces and the Montana National Guard for showcasing American military excellence in this week's exercise. Pac Angel 25 was supported by C-130 aircraft alongside Sri Lanka's Bell 412, B-212 helicopters, and of course the King Air 350.
Hopefully we could celebrate today for the successful completion of Pacific Angel 2025. This session marks the conclusion of a successful exercise as well as strengthening bonds that reach far beyond these 2 days of engagement. The enduring partnership between Sri Lanka and the United States has been demonstrated once again through this initiative. In a world where security challenges are increasingly complex and transnational exercises such as Pacific Angel reminds us of the demand for cooperation among militaries. They show us that collective preparedness is not a choice, but a necessity. The Indian Ocean region remains a vital theatre in the global security and economic architecture. Its sea lines of communication connects nations and sustain commerce. However, they are vulnerable to natural disasters, climate-related risks, transnational crimes, and emerging security threats. In the context, Exercise Pacific Angel has special significance since this exercise brings expertise and resources together and also strengthens goodwill amongst participant nations. In addition, exercise has enhanced our capacity and capability to respond to crisis situations, strengthen trust among partners, and reaffirm our shared commitment to regional peace and stability.
A problem has erupted in the Ella Nine Arch Bridge area since some local tourists visiting the area used to discard empty plastic bottles in the premises. This is about a project introduced with a new game to collect the empty bottles littered improperly in the premises. The Ella Nine Arch Bridge area that is located between the Ella and the Modara railway stations is a place of high tourist attraction. It has already become a national heritage and a site under the purview of the Department of Archaeology. The Ella Nine Arch Bridge that has been built by the British rulers in 1919 is now considered as a significant place where excellence of engineering in the first half of the 20th century. Large crowds of local and international tourists daily visit this area. However, it is pathetic that some local visitors that do not have much care for the tidiness and the beauty of the environment of this place. In this backdrop, a particular construction company has voluntarily implemented a special project to collect littered plastic bottles in this area. The significance of this project is that it is included with a new game. Accordingly, 2 cylindrical spots have been erected either side of the bridge to dump plastic bottles. Over each spot, a circular-shaped net is fixed and the tourists can throw empty bottles targeting the nets. Individuals who are not skilled throwers can put the bottles through separate loop into the spot. Our correspondent says that even foreigners visiting the area are interested in this bottle collecting game. This is a community service arranged by the ELS construction company that has also implemented the project of preventing landslide risk in and around the Nine Arch Bridge area under the guidance of the National Building Research Organization. The ELS company has spent a sum of over 1 million rupees for this bottle collecting project. This new process to collect empty bottles in a productive action to conserve environment and an interesting entertainment for the visitors as well. In more local stories, Firefly is a familiar insect which provides its own light by itself, but they are not frequently spotted as it was earlier.
It has been reported that there are about 2,400 species of firefly in the world, and out of them there are about 9 species in Sri Lanka. Anyway, according to zoologists, the firefly is under the threat of extinction at present. The following is a survey conducted in this regard. The firefly, which belongs to the kingdom of Arthropoda, the class of Insecta, genus Coleopatra, and a Lampetide family, is an extremely mild species of beetle. The body size of the smallest firefly is about 5 mm and the largest stands at 25 mm. Fireflies with black, brown, yellow and orange colored linings can be spotted in the environment at night. Fireflies, which can be seen both in temperate and tropical countries, can be spotted around rivers, streams, forests, wetland and dark areas in plenty. The ability of the insect to emanate light from its body gives the firefly a unique standing among other insects. The light is produced as a result of the chemical reaction of luciferin with luciferase enzyme. Senior Professor of Zoology of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Padmalal M. Manage, observed that the firefly emanates the light specially when sex organs of the male firefly matures and to attract the female as a part of a process. The firefly helps in the control of pests such as snails and slugs in agriculture. It also fulfills a great service in the food chains and to safeguard the balance in food network in the environment. They are also being used in various experiments and as an indicator in experiments. Senior Professor of Zoology of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Padmalal Manage, pointed out that intellectuals have said that certain parts within the body of the firefly can be used in the preparation of cancer control chemicals in medicine. A severe danger has been posed to the life cycle of the firefly at present due to factors like water, air and light pollution, global warming, conversion of wetlands into normal land and the use of insecticides. Senior Professor of Zoology of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Padmalal Manage, said that felling of forests has to be reduced while rivers and wetlands will also have to be protected. Global warming also plays a part in the threat posed on the firefly. There is a question whether the humans will be able to see the firefly in the future or not. We will be able to help the life cycle of the firefly if we properly conserve the environment. If so, this unique insect can be taken into safety within the environment. We should not be the last generation to witness this unique insect which dispels darkness by its own light. Let us try to protect the firefly from today.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that a sum of 1,074 million rupees has been allocated to construct the Accident and Emergency Treatment Unit of the Trincomalee District General Hospital. This project is scheduled to be completed next year. The minister made these remarks joining an observation visit to the Trincomalee District General Hospital today. The minister further stated that proposed project to provide cardiology units with cutting-edge technologies to Anuradhapura, Kurunegala, Kandy and Trincomalee District General Hospitals will be implemented again under the Japanese government's concessionary loan scheme. A sum of 9,000 million rupees will be spent on this project. The minister stated that construction of modern cardiology unit at the Trincomalee District General Hospitals is scheduled to be started this year and completed within a period of 2 years. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa added that a sum of 300 million rupees has also been allocated to set up a wastewater and solid waste management unit in the Trincomalee General Hospital. The minister also said that the first national cardiology hospital unit in Colombo will be established during the first term of the President's office.
We now move on to a few local news items in brief. The Cybot 25 Robotics Conference and two-day exhibition organized for the second time by the Information Technology Association of the National Institute of Enterprise Management is being held in Kandy today. The aim is to take the country's youth robotics innovations to the national level. 30 school teams are participating, university students and a group of others participated in the open competitions, and the program includes the latest robotics. The necessary equipment for the payment management software system of local government institutions was recently provided. This was done at the auditorium of the Provincial Council, Deputy Ministry of Local Government. This software system has been created under the theme of digital government. It is already operational in 125 local government institutions. 45 selected low-income local government institutions were provided with relevant equipment worth over 20 million rupees. Naveen Suryarachi, chairman of the National Gem and Jewellery Authority, passed away today. He also served as a consultant in the Capital Marketing Division of the International Monetary Fund, a member of the World Bank Group, and as the director of the Sanasa Development Bank. The body will be kept at the Jayaratna Funeral Parlour from 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. The final rites are scheduled to be performed at the Borella Cemetery tomorrow afternoon.
The chief priest of the Albania Church, Reverend Father Benedict Joseph, passed away in the morning today. He was a veteran member in all media fields with a lot of experience including television, radio, cinema and print media in Sri Lanka. Born on the 16th of December 1942, Reverend Father Benedict Joseph was appointed as a priest at St. Lucia Cathedral, Kotahena, of the Catholic Church by the late Reverend Father Thomas Cardinal Kure, who passed away on the 19th of December 1970. Reverend Father Benedict Joseph was a knowledgeable and experienced veteran connected with media. He was an editor of Jnanartha Pradipaya, one of the oldest Sinhala newspapers in Sri Lanka. He has been the media director of the Social Communications Centre and the Catholic Printing Press at Borella. Reverend Father Benedict Joseph has been associated with the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation and the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation as well. He also represented the advisory board of the Sinhala Dictionary and also played a major role in organizing Chinese and OCIC Film Awards festivals. He has also been the vice president of UNDA in the Asian region. The final rites will be held at the Borella Public Cemetery tomorrow. Reverend Father Benedict Joseph passed away at the age of 83. That ends all the local news for now. On the other side of this break, it's foreign news.
என் அண்ணாதான் என்ன பள்ளிக்கூடத்துக்கு கூட்டிட்டு போனாரு. மழைக்கு கூட என்னோட அண்ணாவை நிறுத்த முடியல. ஏன் வெயிலால கூட அது சாத்தியமாகல. தங்கத்தை விட நீங்க தான் அண்ணா எனக்கு பெருமதியானவர்.
உங்கள் தேவைக்கான அதிகபட்ச உதவி. கமர்ஷியல் கிரெடிட் ரன்னயர். பொன்னான வாழ்க்கைக்காக.
Developments across borders for tonight. In a landmark ruling, Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro has been sentenced to 27 years in prison.
The verdict comes from Brazil's Supreme Court today after he was found guilty of plotting a coup to stay in power following his defeat in the 2022 election. The court convicted Bolsonaro on 5 serious charges, leading an armed criminal organization, attempting to violently abolish democracy, organizing a coup and damaging government and protected heritage properties. 4 out of 5 justices voted to convict him. 1 justice dissented, arguing insufficient evidence and questioning whether the court had the proper jurisdiction. Bolsonaro, who has denied all wrongdoing, is currently under house arrest. His legal team says they will appeal the decision to the full Supreme Court.
US President Donald Trump has revealed that authorities have arrested the suspected killer of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Speaking live on Fox News, Trump said the man was turned in with the help of his father after a tip from a minister who knew him.
With a high degree of certainty, we have him. in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job.
President Donald Trump praised the U.S. Marshals involved and stressed that the father played a central role in persuading his son to give himself up. Trump also urged that the case move quickly through the courts and called for the death penalty if the suspect is found guilty. Charlie Kirk, the 30-year-old founder of Turning Point USA, was a nationally recognized conservative voice who focused on mobilizing young people with Republican politics. His murder shocked the country and sparked an intensive manhunt. In your sports stories for tonight, the International Cricket Council has decided to include women only as match referees and umpires for the 2025 Women's One-Day International World Cup Cricket Tournament, which will be jointly hosted by India and Sri Lanka.
The list of names of officers taking part in this event was officially announced yesterday. The 2025 Women's One-Day International World Cup Cricket Tournament is scheduled to be held from the 20th of this month to 2nd November. The panel of umpires of this tournament, comprised with 14 members, Nimali Pereira of Sri Lanka is also among the panel. It is significant that Michelle Pereira of Sri Lanka has been included in the 4-member panel of match referees. This is the first time only women represent board of officials in a Women World Cup tournament. The event begins with the match between Sri Lanka and India on the 30th of this month. In India, member of the team, Harshita Samaravikrama, commented on Sri Lanka's preparation for this event. Women cricketer Harshita Samaravikrama said that she is happy to be in the 50 overs World Cup for the second time after the domestic tournament. Training is going on for the World Cup. Sri Lanka cricket is providing all facilities, including night practices. The team is well prepared for the World Cup. It is also a matter of happiness and satisfaction that Sri Lanka is a co-host of the Women's World Cup. The spectators have a great chance to encourage players. It is a matter of pleasure that the team is playing in front of the local spectators under our home playing conditions.
That concludes the national news telecast on Channel I. Thank you so very much for joining. I'm Sonal alongside Sharifa. Have a very good night.
Have a pleasant night.